Are we ready to begin?
Everybody ready? Yes.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep. Ready to begin? Are you
Yes.
ready to call the meeting to order? Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. I call the meeting to order at 6:33 and Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Roll call?
Yes, Youth Commissioner Catherine Bitt is absent. Commissioner Debbie Chavaria.
Here.
Commissioner Sean Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Barry Christian.
Here.
Vice Chair Tara McClinton Horner.
Here.
And Chair Nance Matson.
Here. So our first item is a presentation on Complete Streets Policy Update.
Good evening, Commissioners. Eric Ahmed Smithies, Public Works Director. Just giving you just an overview of what we're doing. What is Complete Streets? You got to put that up there, right? And what our city is doing to implement those policies. The policy first went into effect in 2012 by resolution. Let me just jump over here. And what is it? Complete Streets are roadways designed, built, and operated to enable safe and comfortable and convenient travel for all users, including people walking, biking, transit, drivers, and people of all ages and abilities. And to our right is a photo of our own Watson Ranch, Rio Del Mar traffic circle roundabout. Why do they matter? They improve safety and reduce crashes, supports walkable and vibrant communities, expands transportation options, advances equity and AD access, and aligns with long-term mobility goals. Our City Complete Streets commitment is to prioritize multimodal safety, embedding complete streets into planning, design, construction, and maintenance, ensuring every project considers non-motorized and transit needs, and coordinating across engineering, planning, and our partners being our stakeholders, MBTA, Caltrans, even across our departments. Example of complete streets elements for those in the audience who may not know. There's sidewalks, curb ramps, bike lanes, even Class 3 facilities, speed humps, speed tables, crosswalk tables, access management, landscaping, and green infrastructure. Anything that helps slow people down and make it more pleasant for everyone or safer for everyone. Oh, wow. Private development. So, wait, I skipped a few. Did I miss? I just jumped right from one page to the next. That's my bad. So how is the city implementing these projects in our private and our public development projects? Here's an example, Watson Ranch. It is the most recent subdivision project the city has incorporated all the complete street elements. We have roundabouts, we have bulb outs, curb ramps, AD accessibility, there's landscaping, high visibility crosswalks. We've partnered with Napa Valley Transportation when we first were rolling out new streets in Rio Del Mar, ran by Napa Valley Transportation Authority, and one of their planners, Diana Meehan, actually really helped reviewing some of the bicycle striping and other striping to help us with the different types of high visibility crosswalks. We have the very first, you may not be a know, we're the first jurisdiction in the county that have allowed crosswalk speed tables. They needed to have access to the ruins at Watson Ranch, and they also had, over Marcus Way, they needed to add access, and knowing what we're having issues with, like on Wetlands Edge or Melvin Road, as we're building new development, how are we keeping people slowing down and not just using it as a raceway to mitigate traffic elsewhere? So knowing they needed some crossings at the ruins, and you're gonna have a lot of people moving back and forth when the hotel's built to the ruins, and just thinking about the people accessing these thoroughfares, making sure it's safe, comfortable, and traffic is moving at a slow speed, but also is a functionality for fire or access, because that one section is going to be an EVA access to the ruins and gardens in the hotel. So just the left is Rolling Hills Drive, and to the right is Marcus Way. and incorporating all the green obstruction marking for bicyclists, so it makes drivers more aware that, and the bicyclists aware that there could be conflict areas in those sections. On our recent capital projects and examples, our most recent is 2023, our annual pavement rehabilitation, which was a lot of Donaldson Way and the Cookie Hill subdivision. In 2024, we completed the Benton Way rehabilitation project from Donaldson Way to Wetlands Edge in front of the school, aquatic center, and Boys and Girls Club. And then 2025, which is still under construction, is Rancho Del Mar Utility and Street Rehabilitation. Knightsbridge is complete, and Melvin Road is wrapping up. Rancho's pretty much complete. We just have punch list, I believe, still. But Melvin Road is still got the traffic calming elements to be put in. And the right was the picture of Rio Del Mar recently completed. So here are just some aspects, like look at Gazella. I mean, back some of the older subdivisions, there's not even the center line stripe. There's not even anything distinguishing where roads, where people should be driving versus bicycling. So the right side is the post-construction aspect, adding the obstruction conflict zones for bicyclists as they approach an intersection, really designating where the cars should line up, and also outlining where the parking lanes should be. Here's another one of Donaldson Way, just another one. That's an interesting road, as you can see the squigglies. I always laugh when I drive through there because it's just interesting how they designed that road and actually built it. But again, no center line before, and I mean, I was passed on James Road before the double line was, when I was first here, I think I was going 25 or 24 miles an hour, and I was passed, but that was before they put the center line double stripe in. So just really telling people you shouldn't be passing in residential areas unless they're, you know, double parked, you know, still against the law, go over double line, but, you know, that's enforcement. And then Benton Way, this is a video. I don't know if you're interested in seeing the video. This was part of our Trepepi Smith helping the city realize, and also city staff being really thinking thoughtful through I'll let you listen to it for a minute, but we put some, not GoPro cameras, but cameras up during construction of the project. So you'll see some of that takeaway in this video of what this project last year that also received an honorable mention for complete streets with the League of California Cities. So hopefully we win this year with Rancho Del Mar, but we'll see. We're gonna submit another dynamite application again. So, but even being recognized out of all the agencies submitting their projects, it keeps growing every year. Everyone wants you know, a feather in their cap. So. This blew them away at MVTA last year at our iTalk or Measure T update, and now that we've kind of upped our game, we haven't had the latest for this year's projects, but the Measure T Oversight Committee met today, and they gave us a slide of how Measure T's impacted all the communities and the county-wide. And I'm upset to get the slide deck from them, but I'm going to have it for the next update we do. But it gave a summary of how many curb ramps, bike lanes, bike facilities we've added over the past 6 years. So it'd be great to share that. I know Valerie with the chamber was excited to see that as well today, going, that's bragging rights, how much work has been done in just a short amount of time with our countywide half sales tax. Oops, that did it again. How do I get out of that? Again, here's this year's project, Rio Del Mar at Los Altos and Casa Sierra. It's just an overview, the pre and post, and how dynamic and amazing just a little bit of striping can do on a brand new street. I know we really like that we have a brand new street. We're not hitting potholes. But the fact that it really stands out that there is pedestrians out there and bicyclists in our community. And then here's just a bigger, better picture of Rancho Del Mar and the post-construction phase. The aerials are really, I'm excited about all the drone imagery. Complete streets equals safe, more accessible streets for all. And our engineering team, and with our help, our community development team, we're integrating the policy into every public and private project, ensuring consistent and equitable improvement citywide. And I didn't mention the Napa Bicycle Coalition. We also work with them quite a bit as well, just to make sure that we're capturing everything that we can, that's feasible. And sometimes it might be controversial, whether we brought that item to you earlier for Rio Del Mar, whether we take out parking for class 2s, or can we live with class 3 facilities? And that's where we need your input. And then again, I always got to, talk about, be an ambassador for safe streets. This is still an active QR code, and you can be an ambassador for your location and or for the city on encouraging safer streets and get a nice little Klingon for your car. And that's all I have for tonight. Any questions?
Great, thank you. Any questions? Go ahead.
This looks great. Have you or staff gotten any feedback from residents, how they feel about the changes?
No, we have not. There were some scuttlebutt still on Melvin, 'cause it's not complete yet. I think residents are tired that there's still contractors out there, but I have not. I think I've heard from Barry how great he likes Rio Del Mar now.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've heard. It's just, sometimes you don't always hear back.
Yeah.
But sometimes we meet people in the street and meet in the streets even. We do get praise. It's nice, and it feels good because more than half the staff that I work with directly with the engineering team, they live here, and they take a lot of pride in. And a lot of these projects were designed in-house. Rio and Knightsbridge were not designed in-house, but Phase 2, we're hoping Rancho Phase 2 will be designing that in-house. But a lot of care goes into these projects.
Yeah. Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Hughes?
I have noticed that it looks really good. So I've been out there like riding my bike and stuff, and it's impressive. Did you guys have any like statistics? Well, it might be too soon, but maybe like accidents reduce, or was there a reduction in the amount of accidents on any level, or is it too soon?
I think those streets were already a low street. If you looked at, we had the local roadway safety plan done 3 years ago, and Rio Del Mar was not a hot area. It was mostly along 29 corridor,
Yeah.
American Canyon Road on the east side. But that's something that we can definitely look at because we have statistics, right? So we have them before and after. So
It'll take some time.
yeah,
I was totally against the green paint on the bike lanes, but I kind of like it now, right? I mean, it just designates that it's for bikers or skateboarders or whatever. So, yeah, it looks great.
all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Anybody else?
It's just good job. It's so much nicer to ride a smooth, because otherwise you're just pounding, and you have better control. It's just much more pleasant experience. And I guess an update: our commission advised not to put in or take away the parking on that Rio Del Mar. And as I ride it now, I feel like it was a good decision. There's just not a lot of bike traffic there. I travel it, pretty regularly, at least 2 or 3 times a week over at Le Prix. So I'm not seeing the bike traffic there, and when there's the car traffic is pretty light too. There's not a huge population in that side, the west side of the highway there. So there aren't that many cars that could be coming through there. And there's plenty of room to just pull over and get out of the way. So it feels very comfortable to me to ride it. So I'm glad we didn't take away people's parking to do that.
Great, I agree. I'm seeing more people biking around town, and it's just really nice to see. And I agree, it's much easier to bike on a nice, level, smooth surface. It's nice. Thank you. Commissioner Shavaria?
I just wanted to say great job. It looks wonderful. It looks beautiful, and thank you so much. It's great. Thank you.
Welcome. On another note, while I'm up here, we just installed an echo counter a month ago on Wetlands Edge on the trail, and 80% are pedestrians, 20% right now currently are bicyclists, and only a few of that in the last month's counts, we're averaging, I think, was it 200 a week? 227 a week is what it was showing. It's also the winter months and rain. But there's no one speeding over 16 miles per hour yet. But because I know that was a concern of our Class 1 trails.
Do you have any timeline on the Green Island, on the bike portion of Green Island?
I do not. I was asked that question today. We're looking at hopefully, well, we're required to go out to bid sometime between January and February on that. The timing was of the major construction and the what ifs, if the current contractor doesn't get the low bid on the next one, having them partner and getting that work done. So hopefully Green Island Road's out in front of that, and then we can start with it's the timing issue we've been concerned about and trying to wait a little bit longer of letting the O.C. Jones get out in front on the Green Island Road project.
Do we have to wait completely till the Green Island undergrounding and pavement is done before they start on the Class 1?
It just all depends on the conflict out there, so
Okay, thanks.
to be determined.
Great, thank you very much. It's good to have you here. Okay, public comment?
Yes, is there anyone in the room that would like to make comment on this item? Please go up to the podium and state your name for the record.
My name is Jeanette Goyach, and I live on Knightsbridge, and we're really, really happy the way it took a little bit of time, but it was fine. It's really nice to have a nice, smooth road. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Any other public comment on this issue?
Yes, we've got somebody online. Just one moment. Scott Thompson, just allow me to unmute you. All right, go ahead, Scott.
Great. Well, I am speaking on something else tonight, but I wanted to chime in because I'm an avid bicyclist and I've lived in American Canyon for 16 years, and I've seen the evolution of the awareness of the importance of creating bike lanes and making especially drivers aware of the importance of coexisting with bicycles in American Canyon. And I just want to thank the city, and the presentation we just saw was wonderful. I love the way the city has responded and painted bike lanes and denoted that streets are bike friendly. And I think it's really had a positive impact on the motorists, not just the bicyclists, but I feel much safer riding my bicycle, and I do it virtually every day in American Canyon, throughout American Canyon. So big thumbs up to you folks for doing that. You've done a great job, and keep up the great work.
Great, thanks, Scott. I mean, Erica's just beaming over there.
Well, good. She should. She's done a really great job, and I agree with what Sean said earlier, and what Barry has said. All three of us bike, so I know we all appreciate all the work that's gone into that.
Great, thanks. Any other public comment on this? And they
Yes.
can come back to us.
We have Justin Hamilton Hall. Justin, go ahead, please.
Well, Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday. I think I know Scott. He is a member of Sierra Club. I joined the some club on Zoom. I think Erica, I think you're doing a lot of work, and thank you for seeing my letter in my mailbox. But my email is not correct. My email I had to has Mark Joseph email you, and happy holiday and good work, Erica.
Thank you. Give it back at the people and the team.
Great, thanks, Justin. Anything else on
No
this?
problem.
No further public comment.
Okay, thanks, Erica.
I said one.
Oh, and I'm sorry.
On what Scott was saying about the, well, I've noticed the painted like a big icon on the pavement of a bicycle. And I think that's really helpful in terms of what Scott was talking about with the effect it has on the motorist. And also, I've seen signs with a bike and a yellow sign with the bike on that. And I think those kinds of things have been also helpful in just letting motorists know, hey, they're here, and putting it in their minds. And I mean, it's up to them if they're going to obey the law, but I think it helps. I think you put that pressure on where you can, mention it, light pressure, and I think that's really helpful too. So there's one thing, another thing about the whole thing that I like to see. There were a number of those designations that I think were helpful.
It's following the code. So, advisories.
Very good.
All right.
Anybody else? Great. Thank you, Erica. Thanks. And it's now time for public comment for items not on the agenda.
Is there anyone in the room that would like to comment on anything that is not on the agenda? Okay. Hold on, just bear with me for 1 second. Sorry. Please go up to the podium and state your name.
Yeah, my name is Robert Raven. I live here in American Canyon. And I just was interested in the bike lane and the bike routes and stuff like that. And, one of the routes is the Vine Trail. And right now, the Vine Trail, as it's marked from Broadway, goes up north towards the high school through a picnic area and in between the the softball field or whatever, the Little League field and the stands, which is unsafe. How about right now you could go down Washington where there's bike lanes on both sides, and then on Wetlands Drive, wetlands go all the way across. There's a gap now that goes across to Green Island Road and connect the Vine Trail. So, I mean, it's connected. It's just a matter of getting the signage and everything else going that way. I've seen bikes use it.
Great, thanks.
All right. Is there anyone else in the room that would like to make public comment on items not on the agenda? Okay. We have Justin Hamilton Hole. Justin, I am going to ask you to unmute yourself again.
Thank you, Ms. Cole. And I had to send an email for C. Clark and you and see I can get more agenda. So email agenda package. So I just starting to do that with C Napa so I can see what's going on agenda. And I'm so happy to see Brett Cooper in there. But I want to thank Erica sent me a letter. I can't wait. See 2027 and 2028 will we launch new housing and new sidewalk. So thank you.
And we have no more public comment.
Great, thank you. Consent calendar. Do we have any corrections or edits to the minutes of November 5th, 2025? Okay, I need a motion and a second, please.
I motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Debbie Chavaria,
Yes.
Commissioner Sean Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Barry Christian,
Yes.
Vice Chair Tara McClinton Horner,
Yes.
Chair Nance Matson.
Yes. And now on to our business item, the American Canyons Regional Shoreline Adaptation Plan, the RSAP overview, and I will give you a mic to use.
Well, thank you, OSAT's Commission. I'm Brent Cooper, Community Development Director, and happy to see all the residents that are here in attendance tonight and those that are watching from home. We're here to give you an overview of the Regional Shoreline Adaptation Plan, and it's a joint presentation with our Public Works Director, Erica Amon-Smithies. I'll give an overview of what the plan is, and then she's going to tell you what we're going to do about it. So we're saving the best for last. I'll try not to take too long. So as we all know, there's sea level rise, and it's a big threat in the Bay Area. And before I go on, I do want to just let you know, disclose, that I have shamelessly stolen the presentation from the Bay Development Conservation Commission. They know best and the most about this issue, so I'm just going to take their presentation because I couldn't have said it better myself. So with that little disclosure.
We are all good with that. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, as we all know, bicyclists are a very resilient group, and they will put up with terrible bike conditions. But sea level rise, as evidenced by the graphic here, really is a big problem for a lot of reasons in the Bay Area. There is a lot of need to adapt to how the sea level rise for all of our infrastructure, including bike paths and others. And there's a tremendous amount of infrastructure and assets out there in the community, homes and the like, that's at risk from sea level rise. So it's really a very big and expensive problem. The BCDC group has been involved in this issue for a very long time. They were an early agency, stakeholder involved in it, obviously, because they're all about saving the Bay. And so this is showing that their participation and understanding of the issue has been going back many, many years. The state has also adopted legislation regarding sea level rise planning, particularly with respect to adaptation, because it's a fact it's going to happen no matter what we do with climate change issues itself. The sea level rise is going to happen. And so there is state legislation that requires all jurisdictions along California's coast, and including the San Francisco Bay shoreline, of which we were part, to address sea level rise in their community. And so BCDC has prepared guidelines for the Bay Area. And they also, as each government along the Bay creates a plan, they will review and ultimately need to approve the plan. So they're enormously influential in the issue. So BCDC has prepared adaptation plan guidelines, but what's required here is related to the Association of Bay Area Governments and its vision as well. So there's integration kind of at the regional level. The guidelines here are pretty extensive with the issues that need to be looked at. I won't go through them all here, but it's very comprehensive. Something referred to as sub-regional plans, which gets our attention because a sub-regional plan is created locally. So I mentioned that every jurisdiction in the Bay Area needs to prepare one that has along the Bay. It's referred to as a sub-regional plan. So it needs to be consistent with the guidelines from BCDC. So you may ask, and I certainly wondered that myself, what is a sub-region? A sub-region, as highlighted in yellow here, it could be either a single jurisdiction and their local plan, like American Canyon, or partners with many jurisdictions. So it can be as small as just American Canyon, but you can also partner with your neighboring jurisdictions as well. I'm sure the analysis that's needed to do this is very complicated, and the more the better, but you can't always expect other jurisdictions to kind of keep pace. So there is the option of doing it as a single jurisdiction. So here's kind of a process on what happens is there's a notice that's sent to BCDC to get the process started. The plans are created through consistent with their guidelines, and they need to be completed by 2034. So that might seem like a long time, but these are very technically complicated and expensive plans that will take a lot of time. And if you can imagine, if every coastal community in California is preparing, we're all competing with a limited number of consultants to prepare plans. There's no time to wait because they're going to be very busy and you might not get their attention. So we've seen that with the housing element when we're all kind of compete with the same consultants at the same time. BCDC here is available with resources to help. And so they have really geared up to assist local jurisdictions on a variety of ways, which is really great to see. And also there is grant funding, assuming that you can get it. A lot of these grants take a lot of time to prepare. Oftentimes they're competitive, but it's nice to see that there is a possibility of grant funding. So to conclude, we know that sea level is rising, it's complex. It's shared with all of our other neighboring jurisdictions. The regional action plan guidelines is a path to how to analyze the issue from a scientific perspective, and it's good to know that BCDC is there to help. And here are the helpful people at BCDC with emails and phone numbers waiting to hear from you. And with that, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to turn it over to our Public Works Director, and she's going to tell you what we're going to do about this.
Great, thank you. Everybody good with continuing on? Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks.
Which one is yours?
Which one's yours? The little one. I only have a couple of slides. Good evening again. All right, so what are we doing about sea level rise for our subregion? Ocean Protection Council has an SB1 grant application process and goal reviews. Actually, I should have updated this a little bit from our September update to Planning Commission, but about July, right when the Region Climate Action Plan was wrapping up or they were finalizing it, I had a reach out from the Coastal Conservancy or Ocean, I can't remember what their title is, but they work for the Ocean Protection Council, and they provide technical assistance. You have to apply for technical assistance to apply for the grant. You can do it on your own, but why would you if there's free help, right? So July we engaged with the Coastal Quest to help us as technical assistance. Unfortunately, we did not meet the September deadline for submitting a grant. That was the first deadline when we first heard about the SB1 plan funding. And so Norm Woods, my assistant public works director, he took it up as a challenge and started working heavily on the technical assistance and working on getting this 25-page grant submitted. It's a very long grant. But we met several times at the Ocean Protection or the Coastal Quest to go over the grant application. We also were meeting with the County of Napa because we really were trying to do a joint multi-jurisdictional project. What we found out during this project or process, people have either partnered with their other jurisdictions, they've been able to come to let's apply, we'll take the lead on it, and then they'll do it, or like areas like Belvedere or Sausalito did their own plans. So our approach at this point is we still want to work with the county. Our grant application that was submitted only a couple of weeks ago is a single jurisdiction application with the hopes and goals that we will work with the county, but we haven't figured out who will take lead on that if we're both awarded the funding and the RFP process that goes with it. But the good news is the city has submitted an application, I believe, for it might be $450,000 or $500,000, cover staff and consultant time. And as Brent has already shared, Director Cooper, there are a lot going out. The Sassoon-Vallejo Sewer District was awarded funding earlier this year, and they are partnering with Sassoon, Fairfield, and to the whole shore of the line there to Vallejo. We received a letter inquiry like, why aren't we partnering with them? Well, we will hopefully once we get on board and we have a consultant, we will looking at what the plan they've provided. They've already kicked off their project. They've been very helpful and shared some of the information that they're doing, including their RFP process and who they selected. Because there are a lot of consultants that are already working on this and know our stakeholders and our partners around the Bay, and that's who we really need to know, right? We don't want to reinvent the wheel, build on what's already been built next door. and hopefully not pay as much or pay equivalent to and not a high cost 10 years from now when it's past due, right? We want to get in there right now. And the goal is if we get this funding, it'll tee us up for the implementation funding that comes along with the SB1. Because that's kind of be the bottom line is what infrastructure improvements do we need? We already have a foot in the door with our wetlands restoration plan. They did some sea level rise with that project. I would hope that consultant proposes on it, but there's a lot of game out there for doing these plans, and I'm excited about who we would get to help the city because I know we'll be in good hands, whoever is selected. Awards to be announced in spring of 2026. I think it was March or April that Vallejo learned, or the sewer district learned about their grant, and then hopefully we could roll out by July, August, an RFP to hire someone to move that forward. So, and then the future costs, the part of the plan will providing us a capital improvement program, what we need to do. Same as like our wetlands restoration plan provided us some guidelines and CIP costs for raising the trails out at wetlands. So. Some of our immediate partners with our plan, and in the impacts, we're concerned about a wastewater treatment plant. We're concerned about the landfill's concerned about their site. You know, we know, and then of course the whole subdivisions along the frontage there, along wetlands edge, and towards the meadows to the south. So it'll be a great approach, great project. There'll be workshops for sure when this gets implemented, and it'll be a team project again with Director Cooper and his folks. Because it's not just about us, it's about everyone. So, and then with that, happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Great. Any questions from the commission? Commissioner McClinton-Horner?
Regarding the grant funding, was that a full grant or 50% match?
There was no match required, but we're hoping we get awarded completely, but you don't know, right? So the costs are, not too scary as far as the multi-jurisdictional plans and the single jurisdiction. They're all within the 450 to 700,000 range. So it's hopefully we get funded for most of it, that it's small enough, and that we partner with our county partners and maybe City of Napa and get 100% funding. But again, I don't want to take credit for the application. That was Norm Woods taking full. He really jumped on it, and he wanted to submit it in October, but we've had a few more edits, and we're trying to work with the county on either joint or single. But we got to the finish line. The deadline was next Friday, I believe. The deadline's next Friday, the 13th. Is that right? Yeah. So
if I could add a comment too.
Yes.
Once you have the funding and you have a plan, then you have to do something. And you can imagine, the real money is going to be in adapting and hardening the edges of the city in some way to protect our streets and homes and infrastructure. So that's going to be the big ticket later on, but that's for another day.
I recently attended the State of the Estuary Conference put on by the San Francisco Bay Estuary Institute. Yeah, that was, this was a hot topic. I'm really glad to see it here at home. You guys getting ahead on it and taking it seriously. Thank you.
I was, a representative from Save the Bay reached out to me a couple of days ago and said they've given us a report card on how well we're doing at sea level adaptation. So I'm proud to say that without even really getting started, we have achieved a 39% success rate.
Out of 100?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's like a D.
Like an F. That's like an F minus.
Well, just wait till we do something about it.
Thank you.
I can explain to them that we've really just got started, be gentle. And she wasn't.
That's funny. Commissioner Christian.
Thanks. It doesn't seem to me that City of Napa would be too excited about getting, I don't even know if it's required for them. Their elevation is higher. They are, okay, they're tidally influenced. So we're not recommended, we're required, but City of Napa. But the county maybe between us and City of Napa, I can imagine there'd be some areas in there, the levees and all that. So, okay, and then the second thing, a friend texted me today, and he said there's a proposal being floated right now to expand the Don Edwards Wildlife Refuge. So as you go off Highway 37, that whole wildlife refuge out there, I don't know if it's both sides of the highway, but there's a proposal floated, like five parcels or something, maybe 5,000 acres to be added to it. And I think a lot of it is public land, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Sonoma Bay lands, and that. But I'm wondering if that would affect it. It would be a government partner. But those lands kind of abut against us. If you go across the Napa River in a kayak, you're entering that wildlife, the federal wildlife refuge, and it goes all the way along Highway 37. So I don't know if that would be part of our application or something, if it would affect us. I'm just throwing it out there. I haven't got any more information. I just heard today.
Thanks. Commissioner Hughes?
Just curious, because you said hardening edges. I've always been curious, what would it look like in American Canyon for some of these protections that you're talking about? I mean, would it be like a seawall, or would it be,
Well, far be it for me to talk about infrastructure, but
you know who you are.
I imagine that would be an issue that would be evaluated once there is a study that's done.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there are a lot of different ways of being able to address the issue. So
Stay tuned.
stay tuned. Stay on
Okay.
the commission.
I'll be here.
Right.
All right.
At the conference, they mentioned that soft shorelines are more effective, so more like wetlands. It actually causes problems by putting hard infrastructure and walls in place.
Just to reiterate that when the wetland restoration plan feasibility study went through, that was one of the things, like terracing, that's really in right now, and maybe the 5,000 acres across the way, that they're doing some of that to take inundation and flooding. That always would help. So that was one of the big things we're looking at. But as far as our trails and hardening, there's nothing no way around it other than raising them up. So
Pump stations.
pump station, yeah, so our effluent can get pumped out of your home and into the facility.
So the multi-jurisdictional is actually, it's almost kind of crucial, isn't it? I mean, depending on what Vallejo does, it's going to help us, right? I mean, if they can get more marshland or something. So,
All potentials, right? So,
yeah, all right. Just thinking out loud.
And when you look at all the awards around the Bay Area, there's a lot of players submitting proposals, and so like you said, we need to get started. Like Brent Cooper said, we need to get started sooner before it's an emergency on our part, because we waited until the end. So.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the Wetlands Ecology Center plans or proposals to protect that area as part of the study that was done? And they're going to get their development project approved pretty soon, I guess, or funded. Are there any engineering
We're out
things?
to bid right now, Barry.
Okay.
So there is, with the feasibility study was about raising the levees around that, or trails, which would also meet, but I think they were okay with the initial sea level rise outlook.
So there's nothing really there that has to be done at the moment for that?
Immediately, no.
Yeah, great. Okay, thanks.
Thanks. I really appreciate this. And I'm really glad you included the BCDC manual to see there's a there, and it looks like it'll be relatively easy to follow the path. So fingers crossed and toes. So
It is an issue that's going to be on the docket for quite a while. So we're just getting started, and I'm sure you'll be wowed by the next presentation we give and how much we've learned.
I'm kind of excited about the ARC connection with the what was it? It was in the report, and it's a website you can go to, and you get GIS data. You get geographical data. And they said really a lot of the information that's going to end up in the plan can be gleaned from that. They already have all the measurements, and there's an interface in this that allows us to go in and play with that. So I think that could be fun to play with and helpful to you guys and for getting the plan ready too.
I think as a follow-up, what we can do is we can send the commission a link to the website that has different sea level rise scenarios. And along with that is also ground level intrusion, which can affect foundations, and it has its own bundle of problems as well. So, but there's a lot of really good information available.
About ground level water?
Yes.
Oh.
So as the sea level rises, so will groundwater.
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to
Another
sleep
thing to
tonight.
worry about, right?
Thank you.
Okay, open it to public comment on this item. Is there any, I'll let you go ahead. Sorry, Nicole.
Just as a reminder, please state your name when you get there.
Hello, my name's Robert Raven, and I live here in American Canyon. I know Scott's going to talk as well, I think, in a few minutes. But my issues, I know we have a few years to do this, but the sooner the better. I mean, sea level is rising right now, and every minute or every day makes a difference. And the main thing is not to develop near the bay, like in a Green Island area, and keep all development away from the bay. I went with Scott and a couple other people to the meeting in Vallejo from that group, and they were really good. I mean, really, I really strongly recommend them for, they did a great presentation and a great workshop that, I don't know, a few hours long, and they fed us, and it was really good. and then also I want to say that, it's not just American Canyon, but Napa, part of Napa is around Costco area is also potentially underwater pretty quickly, especially if the river backs up as sea level rises. Then the Carneros area is going to get walloped, and the wine there, especially if sea level rises and the salt water comes on in. That's going to be a real problem. And then also the state, like you mentioned, the wetlands area of the state, owns that. And so they have a little state park there, Green Island, as well as, I guess it's Fish and Wildlife. But, they're potentially in Napa County, which goes all the way to 37, right? Napa County goes to the bay. So all those could be potential partners.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the room that would like to speak? Okay.
Hi again, Jeanette Goyette, American Canyon. Thank you for the presentation, and I am too very glad that we're finally coming to talk about sea level rise. I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what Robert had to say, but not as much. But I think the development near the waterways is really a very important issue. And if we could just think of not developing or putting buildings right by the water. I mean, I'm no scientist, I do think of like up around Napa where Costco, seems to me, when I used to drive up there a lot with my kids for school, the area was flooded a lot when it rained. And I worry about the wetlands here, and I just want to say that. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. We have Scott Thompson online.
Yeah, hi, folks. I know, and everybody knows me, I think, on the commission. I live in American Canyon again. I'm the former president of the Community and Parks Foundation, but I'm here tonight because I'm wearing a Sierra Club hat, and I'm a member of the Sierra Club's 3-chapter Sea Level Rise Committee that really encompasses the entire Bay Area, all of the communities that that are on water or near water cities are all affected by this. And I've been focusing as a member of that committee on sea level rise projections. Really specifically within American Canyon, I've been working independently with an environmental scientist who has a background in mapping and data analysis work. And maybe we're a little ahead of the curve here, but I just recently got projections from her on the effect of sea level rise in American Canyon. And she used the data that the BCDC offered using the middle projections, not the low, not the high, but the sort of in between. And I was going to ask some more specific scientific questions tonight, but I think they're a little premature. But within the boundaries of American Canyon, those projections, and remember again, the person who did this is an environmental scientist. They show significant sea level rise in American Canyon, certainly along the wetlands, but also extending over to Green Island. And I know that the Green Island, that parcel that's been pretty controversial in the past several years, is not necessarily within the city limits yet, but there's been a lot of discussion and movement to annex that land. So I think just as a side note, it would be prudent that any sea level rise compliance measures that are considered or adopted by American Canyon include that parcel of land, because it's definitely going to be impacted by sea level rise. And I have the data to show that. But more importantly, I guess my overriding question tonight is, will the city welcome input and discussion from environmental experts who are currently working on sea level rise projections, not only for American Canyon, but all of the communities in the Bay Area? And if the answer is yes, and I hope it is, what would that process look like? And maybe I should direct this question to Erica and to Brent. Would both of you, either of you, welcome sitting down with myself and the environmental scientist I've been working with and talking to about the effect of sea level rise in American Canyon? And Brent, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is an issue that is not going away. It's becoming a major problem, not just in Northern California, but really throughout the world. So that's my overview tonight. But again, is there an opportunity to sit down and share with you the data and the information, which I think will help you in your planning and the city's planning for complying with the requirements of BCDC?
The answer would be yes. We'd be grateful to have that kind of feedback and input, but we'd want to wait till we get a consultant on board with us to sit down with you, so it's not just going in our ear or over our heads. We really want that expert on our side to be also taking that information in. Always open to input.
And if I could maybe just add on to that, outreach is really baked into the way that American Canyon does everything. So once we gear up, we'll have a website and we'll have information posted for everyone to see, reports and updates and schedules, and it's just kind of the way we do things. And we have our OpenGov friends list as well, so there'll be plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, Brent, quick question for you. Do you have a sense of timing on when that is likely to happen?
So this is an unfunded mandate. I didn't mention that earlier. So we're going to wait to see if we get grant funding before we program the work. So once we receive programming, if we do get awarded in the spring, it would be added to the next fiscal year budget, and then we would go out to RFP. So it could be a 6-month process from award date So looking at summer, fall of 2026.
Okay. Thank you, Erica.
Next we have Justin Hamilton Hall. Justin, please unmute yourself.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I think I remember I think I remember a couple of times I was in another meeting. I'm trying to ask Brett Cooper, and I talked to my neighbor, Vanessa, and I tried to ask in the meeting last time. I'm very patient. I'd like to see if Brett Cooper can put me on the list and see. I want to see like when the warehouses come in and or new house or shopping center or the New Hill thing, and I'd love to see if he can put me on a new list on my email list so I can see what is going on there in Mary Canyon.
Hi, Justin.
Thank you.
Yes, we'd be glad to do that. We have a regular list that we send the public who have signed up, and so we'll be happy to get you signed up for that. We have your email address, so we can take care of it.
I think Nicole have my email. I just emailed Nicole, and she emailed me about City Hall P job over there. Maybe she can put me on there, and then a couple agendas too. Thank you.
Yes, she's given me a 2 thumbs up.
All right.
Thank you, Nicole and Brad Cooper.
Next we have Janelle Selleck. Janelle, unmute yourself, please.
Hi, everyone. Just listening in and excited to hear about the grant submission. Congratulations and good work to Norm. I know those are big undertakings, so fingers crossed for that. I think, Barry, you had asked about the Eco Center project. We're kind of here and standing by. I think there's willing to support in any way. I think there's a great opportunity for the Eco Center to be sort of the community engagement piece of the plan. We're doing things right now like planning our own signage for the site, which will incorporate sea level rise information. We're working with a climate scientist at UC Berkeley to support some student-led research projects. There's all sorts of things happening. We're supporting and doing a lot of actual wetlands restoration and managing some invasive projects. So all of those things contribute to the health of the wetlands, which helps to mitigate sea level rise. So, we're here and just willing to offer support and really excited about hopefully seeing the plan move forward and willing to help in any way. So good job to the city on this. And I think it's important. Probably we're, of all the cities in Napa County, the most important one. And so it's nice to see us being a leader in this area. So thanks, everyone.
Great, thanks. Any other?
We have no more speakers.
Okay. Any additional commissioner comments? Okay. Hearing none. This is great. I'm glad you guys are kicking this off, that you've already applied for a grant, and it'll be good. We're looking forward to hearing more. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have now come to adjournment. So at 7:31, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.